Hi, everyone. I'm hoping everyone can hear me. It's kind of hard in these kind of sessions because um, you don't see your faces. It's just online. If there's anyone that can't hear me, just please say so in the, I guess people wouldn't know that. Just one sec. I'm going to put a message in the chat that I'm hoping that everyone can hear me. Hi, everyone. My name is Mark Michaud. I am the Power School Lead for ASDW. I will be presenting today. This is a short session. It's only 45 minutes. The session is going to cover how to complete the K-8 report card. I'm not going to get into detail, but basically it's going to be the nitty-gritty that's going to show everyone what needs to be done when you start entering your students' marks for K-8. K5 and 6 to 8 are very similar. There is a little difference that we'll talk about during this session. But at the end of this session, at the end of the 45 minutes, I'm hoping that everyone will be comfortable enough to feel confident enough to complete this report card. I have a moderator with me today. She's my great partner, Yvette Seeley. She will be monitoring the chat. So if anyone has questions, I would appreciate it if you would type it in the chat. And if Yvette will answer everyone's questions. If more than one people have that same question or people need to elaborate a bit more, she might interrupt me and stop the session, and I'll answer that question on immediately. Please keep in mind that I'm always available. After this session, you'll have my contact. Anyone that needs support moving forward, you can always contact me when it comes to anything related to Power School or Power Teacher Pro. So the difference between when I say Power School, I mean Power Teacher, and then there's Power Teacher Pro. So let's get the session started because I'll explain the differences between the two. I'm going to sign out here. So the first step into completing the report cards, essentially the same as when you log in to take attendance. So you log in, you take attendance, and the same areas. And this area here is what I call, and what most people call Power Teacher. This is where people take their attendance, and you can get demographics information for your students. There's all kinds of stuff in this window. When I'm going to be talking about Power Teacher Pro, you have several links on this page. You have one here in the upper left, and there's one under each course. It doesn't matter which one you click on, it's going to take you to the same program. In the Power Teacher Pro program for the K-8s, most of you only become familiar with this during report card time. At high school level, 9 to 12, Power Teacher Pro is the program that teachers use to enter all their assignments and their weights and all that. But at the K-8, it's mostly used to enter the report card information. So in this page, I'm going to click, we're going to come back to this page a little later because this is the page where you also print the report card for your class once they're done, and you can also print the report cards for just one student. The PLP, which is already populated automatically for you, this would be also a window where you could go check. You click on this I don't have any students on a PLP in this example here, but if you did, they would be here. So let's dive into Power Teacher Pro. Oh, Chris. Sorry, I was just looking. Someone's having issues hearing me. So I'm going to log into Power Teacher Pro. So you're ready. It's I forget the date. I have it here somewhere. Is that you guys have a half day to work on the report cards, and you open up Power Teacher Pro. Excuse me, Power Teacher. You log in. You click on any of these Power Teacher Pro links. It's going to take you to this new page that you may not be familiar with. But this is the program that we enter all the information for K-8. Now we have this year is a different year. We have schools that are holistic in the new holistic program, and we have schools that are still in the older version. That does not change anything of this session. I do not need to have a session today on holistic and non-holistic. The steps, the procedures, everything is identical. The only difference will be what the strands look like. Your strands could possibly be different, but the way you mark the students is exactly the same. The achievement indicators is 1 to 4 plus, the learning habits, everything goes in the same area. So for this example, I'm pretty sure it's a non-holistic strands, but for the schools that are, the steps are still the same. So what I want to first mention is that you have 3 things to complete in a report card. You have to enter learning habits, you have to enter the strand marks with the achievement indicators, and you have to enter a comment for everything. So you have to have at K5, your learning habits are going to be at the homeroom. So for K5 students, or excuse me, for K5 teachers, if you have a homeroom, you have to go to that homeroom to enter the learning habits. You only enter learning habits once for the students at K to 5. At 6 to 8, learning habits are entered for every section they take. So if you teach English language arts and social studies, well, you have to have learning habits for each one of them. I am going to show you where that information is entered. Oh, someone turned their... So let's start with the learning habits. So if you are, if you are a homeroom teacher, K to 5, you would go to your homeroom. So I'm on homeroom right now, and you would go to A+ grading, and you go to standards. So it's always A+ grading standards. That's where you go. On this new page here, what you need to make sure is you are on T1. Confirm the term. Very important. Most teachers or most people's Power Teacher Pro will default to T1. But if you, for whatever reason, looked at the other reporting periods and then came back to this page, it will stay on T2. So make sure before you enter your report card information that you are on the correct reporting term, because if you enter your information in the wrong reporting term, it's unfortunate, but there's no like mass copy and paste of the information. You can't say take my T2 information and put it into T1. Okay, so just make sure you're on the right term. So at first glance, this looks a little confusing, but I'll keep it simple. This little comment bubble here, this is the column where you enter your comments for students. And then we have ID. I'm looking over here. So this is independence, initiative, interactions, organization, responsibility. Now, the learning habits, if you're not familiar with them, in the files section of this meeting, I put a bunch of files. So everyone in the file section of this meeting, if you go and click on the file section here, oh, that's the wrong session. If you click on the file section here, at the top, I put achievement indicators, scale, and learning habits, completing the K-8 report card with Power Teacher Pro guidelines. So everything I'm covering here today is in these documents. So this achievement indicator, scale, and learning habits, I took this out of the K-8 document. I'm going to open it up here. So this is taken out of the K-8 document. So I'm going to scroll down to the learning habits. So these are the learning habits, independence. These are the observable indicators. And below is the learning habits scale. So there's consistently, usually, sometimes, and rarely. And For the learning habits, it's independence, initiative, but it's telling you what you need to observe. Now, how you take that information and enter it is pretty simple. So under here, we have the CUSR. So, if I want a C for the student, what a lot of teachers do is that if they have a learning habit that's most common, let's say the C is, let's say it's usually, they can fill the thing for the entire column, and then they can come back and change the one student that might be different than the others. You can fill vertically, and you can fill diagonally, horizontally. So I could take this U here and I could fill it this way as well. Essentially, what you should have, once you're done your learning habits for all your students, your page should look full like this. So I'm just going to fill this in. I'm making sure I'm on T1 here. There's other columns after, but you would ignore those. You're just in the homeroom. You are only worrying about the learning habits. And then the comment. The comment, you can use smart text. Now, comments are supposed to be individualized for every student. But if you're a visual arts teacher and you're teaching 26 sections of art, writing a comment for 26 times maybe 18 kids could be very, very long. So what a lot of teachers like to do, they like to use the smart text. And what the smart text does, it will recognize the name and the gender. So in this example, it will not work because I'm in training. So the gender is not entered into the system. But I'll take, for example, Tanner here. So I could say Tanner, and then if I say his, him, and then you copy that, it's going to say grades, flags, and comments. So I'm going to say use smart text. So what that's done, it's copied that all the way down. So if I go to Shiloh, see it wrote Shiloh here. It still has his and him, but if Shiloh is a girl and you're in the live side, so you're in your program, it's going to say hers and her. Okay, so if you do use smart text, I recommend that you check that they were not misgendered. You can take a quick check, but there shouldn't be an issue. Now, one thing smart text doesn't account for is if you have non-binary students. So if you have non-binary students, I would suggest strongly that you go in and alter that one individually, but it will represent the gender of every other student correctly. It's not doing it here for me because I'm in training. So once you see a blue comment bubble in every box and you have all your grades for your learning habits, you're done. You hit save at the bottom. If you do not hit save, you will lose your work. Okay, it's important to hit save. So I'm going to save this. So if I leave this this area and I come back to it, you will see my work is still there. Okay, so that's for learning habits. So very important. Just make sure that you go over in this document that I abbreviated for everyone. You can see your learning habits and the scale that goes with it, for those that are not familiar with the scale. Okay, let's move on to the strands. Strands, well, I'm going to stay on learning habits for one more second. So K-5 teachers, your learning habits, you go to your homeroom. If you're a K-5 teacher and you do not have a homeroom, you do not enter learning habits. For example, if you're teaching phys ed and you only teach phys ed at K-5 and in an elementary school, you will not have a homeroom, most likely. Therefore, you don't need to worry about learning habits. If you're a 6 to 8 teacher, I will show you what that looks like. I have a lot of classes in here. So for example, this is a Math 8, okay? So this is my Math 8 class, and it's an FI Math 8, and I need to enter my learning habits. The homeroom for for a grade 8 class does not have learning habits, but it does at the section. So when I click A+ grading again and I go to standards, again, I'm going to confirm that I'm in T1. And you see the dates here for the reporting periods. So, you know, September 5th to December 3rd, and then December 4th to March 24th, March 25th to June 30th. Those are the reporting dates for T1, T2, T3. Now, notice this is a little longer because whenever you see this comment bubble, this comment is going to be for the course. So learning habits at K to 5, you're going to comment about their working habits. In a 6 to 8 class, your comment is meant for their learning habits and also their strands in the course. So you can put them together. You always can see how many characters you have. In this case, because it's math, the big three, math, science, ELA, has 700 characters. The other courses like social studies and explore your world and stuff like that have 350 characters. So again, the learning habits, I'm going to fill this in because they're at the beginning of the section. I don't fill this in for this student. EAL. I'm always looking at the little thing. When you're not sure what the column is, it's always identified here in the upper left. This is asking if English is the student's second language. So if English is their native language, if they don't struggle with speaking English, you don't put anything here. It's either going to be yes or blank. You don't worry about no, and you don't put NA. It's only if you have newcomers where they're struggling and they're an EAL student, you would put yes here. If they're not, you just leave it blank. The S over here stands for the strands. Okay, so what's coming up next are the strands, and I can see them. See, there's numbers, you have the N, you have patterns of relations and shape and space. So I have 3 math strands. So before I enter these strands, I want to go back to that document that I talked about earlier. And it's called Achievement Indicator Scale and Learning Habits, because I took this out of the K to 8 reporting document. I want everyone before, especially new teachers, there might be teachers here that are on the refresher, to go through this and read this attentively. Because if you take the time and read the expectations for this scale, you'll realize that if you're giving a kid a 4+, which in the past, if teachers don't read this document, they'll think 4+ is for the higher percentile in their classroom. It's not. If we read this, it says strong and or excellent achievement demonstrated, indicates the learner has a thorough understanding of skill descriptors addressed to date and consistently applies learning to new situation. The learner demonstrates learning that surpasses grade level expectations. So this last part here. So if you're giving a 4+ to a student in your class, you're essentially saying they're in the wrong grade for that skill descriptor, right? So keep that in mind, that a 4+ is not your strong students. Your 4+ would be for outliers in your class, and we have them from time to time, but it's not the majority of our students. So your class should fit this scale in terms of each individual student. If you're giving your kids 3s and 3+, if you read this, it means they're doing extremely well. So keep that in mind when you're going to be entering your achievement indicators in a few weeks. So this also has very good frequently asked questions. This document, this one here, is just a small part of the larger document. So this is, I just took this out to make it very simple for everyone. But if I go into the larger document, so there's the non-holistic K to 8 guideline. So if your school is a non-holistic school, you would open this document here. If you're the new holistic program, and by the way, in September 2024, everyone will be using this document. This is the only year where we have schools that are on holistic, which is the new program. and we have schools that are on the old one. I don't like to say old, the current one. The holistic one is the pilot this year, because everyone's going to be doing the pilot in September 2024. So if you're a holistic school, you would open this one. If you're a non-holistic school, you would open this one. So I'm just going to go and open up the holistic curriculum. I would say half our schools are doing holistic, and the other half stayed on the current one. I'm just waiting for that to open. So this document here, which is in the file section of this meeting, has everything from A to Z. It has the scales, the achievement indicators. It has a lot of stuff. Diane K will be sending this out to all the teachers. It talks about the character limits for every course from K to 8. Oh, Explore Your World K to 2 is 1,000. Okay, so I forgot about that. So the documents that I just showed you on the learning habit scale is in this part here. So this is the provincial academic achievement expectations, and a little bit lower were the learning habits. Also in the document, so if you keep scrolling down and you go through this before doing report cards, there will be a lot of good information in there, and there's links in this document as well. The other document that I want to show you is this document here is essentially covering everything that I'm doing today. So this is, it's the document that I just opened, but they're taking out the part where step by step, it's showing you how to complete the report card. So if anyone has any questions, you can ask them. I'm pretty sure Yvette must be answering them, but if there's anything you need to refer back to, you have this document now. You'll probably be getting them through emails, but I just wanted to make sure that everyone could access them. It talks about confirming the term, the A+ grading standards. Everything is in here step by step, because there's some people that are very visual and need this piece of paper beside them. I'm just reading the chat. I'm noticing a lot of people are asking some questions, which is great. So these documents are for everyone. Also, as a lifeline, I am always available. Anytime you have questions or need help, just hit me up on Teams. Everyone has my information now. I can answer any questions that you shoot my way. But please, once we're done this session here today, these documents will be a lifesaver. Also, this channel will stay open, this meeting. So in your chats, in Teams, how to complete the cater report card, I'm not deleting this. So that'll be there. Your documents will always be here. Okay, back to what we were doing. So I'm at a grade 8 level. So like I said, grade 6 to 8, when you go into the A+ grading and you go to standards, you're going to have to enter comment, learning habits, and the strand marks. So let me give this kid a 3+. I'll give this kid a 3 and 3+. So this one of my best students. If I look at the achievement scale, this is a very strong student, because everything's above 3. If I'm giving him a 4, I mean, he's not above grade level, but he's not making any. He understands this through and through. He's ready for the next grade level, but he's not there yet. A 4+ basically means he's applying stuff from this current grade level to the next grade level, which is your high flyer. So I'm going to give this kid 3s across. I'm going to come over here and put comments. Hazel is a strong student. Hazel's the name of my cat, which is ironic. And I'm just going to take this. Now, I'm just going to take the fill, and I'm going to say use smart text. And the nice thing about this is the next one, which is Jameson, it should say Jameson is a strong student. So the smart text is working. It's going to recognize the gender, it's going to recognize the first name, and it's going to switch them from all your students. If you're teaching a kid of 5 class and you have one group of students, I recommend that you actually do a personalized comment for every kid. The smart text is useful for teachers that have a lot of comments for a lot of students, and they might have a common comment for everyone. You can use this, and it makes it look like it's directly at that child, which is beneficial. But I wouldn't say use smart text for everything, but it's there for you if you need it. I'm noticing Yvette's updating the files at chat. For those that are unsure, if you go to the chat section of Teams, the how to complete the K-8 report card chat should be here. If you click at the top here, files.
Mark,
yes.
Some of them aren't seeing them in there, and I just uploaded them again.
Okay.
So there's a double copy of each. Okay, so I'm not certain why they're not seeing them, and I decided just to put them in the chat too.
Okay, great. But yeah, okay, that works. Now I understand why. I wonder why. Okay. Anyway, Teams, but Teams is a little wonky right now. Is everyone?
It is wonky.
Are you hearing me robotic? Or are you hearing me okay?
No, we're hearing you okay. I think it might be a glitch with the files, but okay. I'm going to put them in the chat, and they'll also be under files, and hopefully people will be able to find them. And if not, they'll let us know. Yeah. Okay. Also, after this session is done, everyone, I'm going to have the attendance, and I'm going to see if I can just email everyone these files. Oh, good idea. I should be able to do that. Yeah, perfect. So how's the chat going? We're good? Yeah, good so far. Someone just asked about the character limit, and I've got it here, but I can actually, I'm going to take a picture of it and put it in the chat, and they can see the character limit. Yeah, well, the character limit, I think, came up a little earlier in one of this document. So if I go back, here it is. So in the documentation, the character limit will be there, and I have it up now. So learning habits is 700, explore your world K-2 is 1,000, learning habits 6 to 8. That's the character limit is whatever the section is. So if you're in English language arts or FI language arts, it's 700. So 6 to 8 is all the learning habits. You need to include that in within the 700. Math is 700. Pre-intensive flora, intensive French, post-intensive French, 4 to 8 is 700. All K5 other subjects is 350, and 6 to 8 subject areas are 350 as well. That's a good question. And when you're entering your comment, you see if I'm entering, every time I type a character here, it's telling me how many I have left. Okay, so once, I'm pretty sure, once I get to, now, this should stop working for me. So yeah, I see I can't enter anymore. So once you're at 0, it's not going to allow you to keep typing. Okay, so this is a grade 8 class. So I have my comment. And again, when you're doing smart text, just make sure that you are reviewing your genders and the first names. I get a lot of emails during this time of the year from teachers that saying the smart text is not working. The smart text works. The issue is if you want the first name to be picked up. So in this case, if I'm typing the comment here for Hazel, you need to make sure if you write Hazel's working habits, this will not work, because you need to start off with the child's exact name as it's typed here. Unfortunately, if you have a student that likes to be named Bob and his name is Robert, and you type Bob, it will not, the smart text won't work. You need to type the actual student's name, which is Robert. Okay, so if you do not type the name exactly as it's shown in Power Teacher Pro, the smart text won't pick up. So if I go Phil again, and I go use smart text, and I go okay. If I look at Jameson, oh, Jameson's working at, I guess the apostrophe S does work. I guess this is more for hyphenated names. So if you have a hyphenated name and you abbreviate the name, it does not work.
So I'm surprised. I didn't know that the apostrophe S would work, but it did. But if I take Hazel and I misspell her first name and I go, I forget the L and I go to Phil, use, it didn't even ask me for smart text. If it doesn't ask you for smart text, it's because it's not recognizing anything within. So just make sure that when you're using your smart text that you use the first name perfectly as entered in PowerTeacher Pro. Okay, so we're at the strand level. Our comments, we've got the character count, we have our learning habits, and then we have our strands. If you have a strand, if I'm looking at the math strands here, like for math, it's numbers, patterns and relations, and shapes and space. If you have a strand that has not been covered, you leave it blank. You don't put not available if it hasn't been covered. So for a lot of report cards in the first in the T1, it might look like this. You might only have done numbers. If you've only done numbers, you enter your strands for numbers and you leave it at B. Now, you'll notice that there's a lot of other columns. These are not important. These are outcomes that are attached to assignments. What you're responsible for are the comment, the learning habits, and the strands. And you see the S, there's S, S, S. Once this S disappears, see, I'm on O. O are outcomes. Once you're on curriculum outcomes, you're past what you need to do. So you just need to worry about your strands, your learning habits, and your comment. So I'm going to go to the last course I had. I have so many courses in here. So a 6 to 8 course, when you go in, you see your learning habits and you see your strands. If you this is a grade English Language Arts 1, it usually takes you into the assignment list. So when you want to enter your strand marks for grade 1 class, notice that here I do not have the learning habits, okay? I only have my strand. So my comment comes here. EAL, so if this is a EAL student, you put yes, you put in your comment is entered here. And then you have and that's it. Once you get to the O, outcomes, what comes after is not important. It doesn't go on the report card. You are just entering your comment and the strand mark. Remember, for the grade 1s, the learning habits were at the homeroom level. Any questions? Great. I see Yvette is putting up the files. Again, for the files, for those that are not seeing them in the chat, I will take the attendance for this, and I will be sending them. I'll be sending them to everyone. You'll probably be receiving them double. Some of them not, because I made them myself, but it should be in your inbox at the end, before the end of the day today. Okay, so once you've entered your learning habits, your comments, and your strands for all of your courses, thankfully, hopefully you don't have as many courses as I do in here. You've made sure that you're in the T1 reporting period. Essentially, your report cards are ready to be printed. And how do you do that? Well, every school, I'm not sure how every school does it, but if you go back to PowerTeacher Pro, there are 2 ways to print the report cards. You can print the report card for an individual student or for your entire class. So if you want to print the report card for one student because you just want to see what it looks like, so you would click on the student information. It doesn't matter which course you click on. It's the same report card, as long as the class you click on has that kid in it. So if you're K to 5, the chances are all your groups are the same. If it's 6 to 8, you would need to click on the class that you're teaching that student. So if you click on the student information, you have the list of students here on the left. Like my list is short because I only have a few, but it would be longer. So if I want to print a report card for Shyla, you just click on Shyla's name. And under the select screens over here on the right, you have K to 8 provincial report card. And you select the term and you hit submit. And in here, you can go see, like, there's no, I didn't enter any information, or no, I did. Yeah, I did down here. So the learning habits, Shyla, his, him, here's here's the comment, here are the learning habits. You can see here, you can get a good look of all the strands for the courses. This is non-holistic strands, by the way. And so you're going to see what the report card looks like as you're entering. Now, if you're someone that entering all your comments first and you come to the report card to see what the comment looks like, you will not see a comment unless there's at least one strand attached. So if you've entered your comment for FI math here 1 and you come to C and there's no comment, it's because you haven't entered a strand mark. If you do not enter a strand mark, you will not see the comment. If you don't have a strand mark to put in, just put in NA in the meantime. NA will enable the comments to appear on the report card. So report card comments will not show unless something is entered in the strand. How do you print for the entire class? Well, that's pretty simple. We come back to the group. I click my homeroom. I click on the report card symbol right here. You click on T1. I have 4 kids in this class. You hit submit. Now, if you have a larger class, sometimes this spinning can take a little while, a lot longer than this. And the report cards are, I forget how many pages they are. I think they are 3 pages at K1, but it's all in one list. And from here, you can hit print. Don't print to a printer. I would print to PDF first. So I'm printing this to Adobe PDF. I'm gonna hit print and I'm gonna hit save. That should open up for me. Oh, maybe it won't. Yes, there it is. And then now you have them as a PDF. You can take a look at them. And then once it's ready to print, to send home, you can do that. I know this is a lot of information in a short period of time. But what I want everyone to remember from this session is that you have the documents. And I'm seeing them double there now. This completing the K-8 report card with PowerTeacher Pro, the only one that's a Word document, is probably the one you're going to want to open and have near you once you start entering your achievement indicators and your learning habits. But prior to that, the achievement indicator scale and learning habits, this document here, I would say is the first most important one, because this is the one where you need to be well versed on to know what you're going to give these students for learning habits and what you're going to have to give them for achievement indicators. So a quick review. If you're comfortable with the program and you're coming to do your report cards, you're going to sign in. You're going to go immediately to PowerTeacher Pro. If you're a K-5 teacher, you're coming to your homeroom first. Doesn't have to be first, but if I go in order here, and you're going to A+ grading, and you're going to standards, and you're going to enter a comment for every kid, and you're going to enter a learning habit for every student. And these columns above, if you hover, independence, initiative, interactions, organizations, and responsibility. Also, if you click on the cell, you can see the name over here on the upper left. So once you've done your learning habits and you make sure you're in T1, always confirm the term, Then you would go to your courses. So K to 8. So you go to your English class, and from here, again, A+ grading standards for grade 1, you're only going to see the strands. So you enter your strands, you enter your comment, you put if they're EAL or not, you confirm the term, and you hit save. If it's a grade 6 to 8, A+ grading standards, here you are going to need the comment, the learning habits, and the strand marks. Everything's in the same window. You confirm the term, you hit save. Once that's done, your report cards are essentially going to be ready for printing. And again, you can check the work you've done through the report card here for every kid, or if you just want to do one student, you just click on the student information, you click the student you want, you click the report card. It's funny, a lot of teachers didn't know they could print a report card for one student. So if a parent didn't come in to pick up the report card for whatever reason, there's teachers that were printing the entire class and getting into the middle to get the one they needed. So now everyone here knows that you can print a report card for just one child. Yeah, I'm looking. Yeah, Crystal McLaughlin. Yeah, we'll be sending these documents to everyone that attended the session here today. And so this is Shiloh's report card for just this one class. Let me look at my notes. I want to make sure that I covered everything. Take a look at the documents. How to enter the strands. Yeah, I think I have everything covered. If anyone has any questions they'd like to ask, we have 3 minutes left. If you want to turn on your mic and ask your question or put in the chat, I can reply right now. For those that don't have any questions that are comfortable with this, thank you very much for attending the session today. Remember that you can contact me anytime. Yvette, were you about to say something?
Yeah, Mark, I think the Word document that we uploaded has limited access. I think it's only the owners that can open it. So we just may need to change that, and then people can access that document.
Absolutely, great. What I'll go through those after this session is done, and I'll make sure that there's no restrictions on them, and I'll email them to everyone that was here today. But and so when I email everyone that was in the session here today, everyone will have my email. And remember, you can reach out and contact me through Teams or through email. I reply usually very quickly. I don't know if there's any Devon teachers, but I'm going to Devon on Monday, meeting with 4 or 5. So looking forward to seeing everyone there. If not, have a great day, everyone, and thank you very much for attending the session. And a big shout out to Yvette for monitoring the chat for me.
You're very welcome. Thanks, everyone.
I'm just going to stay on, see if anyone has any questions. So Yvette, are you able to open that Word document?
I am, but I'm an owner for some reason.
No, I know why you're an owner. You're
Right.
Power School League. So we haven't kicked you out.
Not yet, anyway.
Yeah.
But we can fix that up quickly, and people will get that, so they'll be good.
I wonder how I stopped the recording. So
So the 3 dots.
stop recording. Okay.